Here we're asked to graph at least two complete cycles of the following trig functions. I'm skipping out on tangent, but I will do this cosine one, and we are dealing with a positive cosine graph. So the first thing I know about that is that I'm going to start at the maximum and end at the maximum for my first cycle or my first period. And then since I'm doing a second period, my final graph should look something like this here in purple. So from here, now I'm going to find the midline at -4. So call this 0 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. The reason that I went down to 8 is because here is my midline at -4. And then my amplitude is this number in front of the cosine, which is 4, meaning I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to 0. That's the maximum of my graph. Then I'm going to go down 4, which is -8, which is the minimum of my graph. So now the last two things, when I'm looking here on the inside of cosine, it's not adding or subtracting anything, meaning I'm going to start my graph here at x equals 0, and I'm going to go to -8. Now this 6 here is what we call the b value, and if we do 2 pi over b, that tells us the period, or when we are going to repeat our function. So pi over 3 is going to be our period, so I'm going to say that arbitrarily there's pi over 3. Since I'm doing 2 cycles, I'm going to go to 2 pi over 3. Let me make that a little bit farther away so it looks kind of the same. 2 pi over 3 there. So I'm going to need some things here that I need to understand. So, it's not the minimum. I made a mistake earlier. I said it's going to be at the minimum, but it's a positive cosine graph, which is meaning it's starting at the maximum. That was my fault there. Sorry about that. Now, I know that it's going to end that first cycle at the maximum and that it's going to end the second cycle at the maximum. But I need to find the in-between points. So I need to find the halfway point between pi over 3 and 0, which is just pi over 3 divided by 2, which is pi over 6. So that is going to be where I hit the minimum. And if I go halfway between 0 and pi over 6, well, that's just pi over 6 divided by 2, which is pi over 12. That's going to hit our midline. Now I know that I'm going up by pi over 12 each time here. That's pi over 12. So each time I'm going up by pi over 12, which means that this is going to be 3 pi over 12, 4 pi over 12, 5 pi over 12, 6 pi over 12, which is the same thing as 3 pi over 6, which is the same thing as pi over 2, 7 pi over 12, and then 8 pi over 12, which simplifies to 2 pi over 3. So each of these x values, that's going to be, I start at the maximum, then I go to the midline, then I go to the minimum, back to the midline, then the maximum, midline, minimum, midline, and maximum. So when I complete this graph here, there's one cycle, and there's my second cycle.